Okay, it's streaming, it's live, it says that it's live. So, this is the first video that I'm recording from the Beast. I definitely cannot show you this room right now. I'm preparing to go to Singapore next weekend, which is going to be awesome, but as a result of that I've got some preparations and stuff going on that make this a hassle. I don't have the glasses right now. Where are those things? Oh, I'm a mess. I'm tired. Oh, there they are. They just come up. Big shout out and thanks to Alex Stratus for this. What I plan to be using very soon, probably for the next one of these, is to be using my... Where is it? Here. Oh dear. Oh. Let's try to stabilize the mic a bit. I plan to be using this, my GH3, and my Blackmagic video capture tool that I got, which will hopefully make everything awesome and HD and whatnot. I have to run some tests on this, actually see how this works. So I guess the first thing that I want to know is my sound in sync, because I'm trying this at 480. I always do it at 360. I'm trying it at a slightly higher bandwidth because I'm being very conservative that my new computer should be able to handle the at least if it was a processing issue, which I think it was with my last computer. This should address it. So, and that being the case, I'm going to try a few tests where I just increment it up and check if everything syncs and works well, and I'll get to probably, I think 720p is a good format. I'd like to broadcast in 720p, but I'm not going to make this a technical test, not tonight. So, how is everyone? I did not have enough time, actually. I was getting into Flipboard to go and update, and I did a bunch of tweets tonight. I guess I could go through randomly on Flipboard for topics, but do we need them? I think there's, oh, you know, there's something I meant to blog tonight, which I'll go to that, because I think in terms of news, the big news this week, of course, was the ICJ decision on whaling, which I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about. I actually got I got sent some questions from a guy at IFP. Oh, there's tons of static, like really crackly. That's not good. Why is that happening? Hang on a second. So my gain is on minimum. Okay, so why is that happening? So I wonder if I switch my sound. Wait a minute, okay, let me try turning down my recording level. Perhaps. So I've turned it down a lot. Is this better? I realize this is going to be about a 30 or 40 second lag, but I've just tried turning down the gain setting. I don't know if it's that. This is the first time I've used this mic on the new computer. Ra says it's perfect. That's good enough for me. By the way, my voice is still a bit hoarse because we did get to karaoke last night and it was awesome. It was good fun. Anyone can join my Facebook, of course. It's facebook.com/Hikosaemon. You can find my page. Anyone can join. Most of my stuff is public. You can see photos from the Hanami. I got one video of Dan Cowell. Okay, when Dan Cowell says heaps, I hope that means it's heaps better. That being the case, I'm going to stick with this. This is interesting. This is a totally different reaction to how it is when I set up on my Vio, but that's a good thing because my Vio was it's a beautiful machine, but it's Sony, it's crap. Oh, good. The crackle is gone. Perfect sound, nice. And I'm still in sync. I'm still doing the good. I'm sorry. It always ends up being a bit of a technical test in the beginning, doesn't it? But anyway, going to my Facebook stuff, well, I've pretty much turned this into somewhat of a it's kind of cool. I'm seeing photos of myself as I log in. By the way, I don't know who saw, but Dan Cowell got a fantastic photo of Victor and I, which I do very much appreciate, and we will be using that probably as our default thing from now on. I wonder. I'm missing one. I just realized I'm missing one graphic. But you know what? Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. Where's the vertical one? There should be like a vertical banner. I'm not going to get hung up on this stuff because... Oh, don't want to do that either. Oh, okay, as you can see, I'm still learning. I'm in the process of setting up the beast. The beast is awesome. But I put up a little blog, and I've been doing little blog posts on this lately, actually. And yes. So there's one thing. So I guess I could put a thing down the bottom. If you look at if you just search for the AFP. Oh no, not that one. If you look up the AFP story on the whaling verdict, there's a story on Yahoo News called "Whaling Ban Applauded Despite Fears of Japan Sidestep," and the writer for that, who's a guy Hugh, what's his name? Hugh Griffith, who contacted me via Twitter and was very, very nice. He said I had to provide all my personal information to him with the quote, which I said, I'm sorry, I won't do that, but I'll give you a quote and you can decide what to do with it. And he was very good. He I misidentified him as AP at one point, and I wondered if that meant that I might have my quote taken down. But he called me a respected blogger and social commentator on Japanese issues, which thank you very much, sir. And he took a quote of a back and forth which he gave, which is on my Facebook page, which I'm gonna go whereas I can really find it myself. I'm gonna put it into a blog post, actually. In fact, that's right, I haven't actually posted the full thing yet, and so it's only in my email at the moment. So I'm currently looking on my I got a screen here, I got a huge screen here. Anyway, it's awesome. So I guess I'll look up Mr. AFP, and he asked me 4 questions basically, which were after the ICJ decision on whaling, what will Japan do now? Will they obey the letter and spirit of the ruling, or find a way around it? The second thing that they asked was, in fact, I'll pull this around so I'm looking at the camera while I read it. Boom. Second question was, is whaling an important issue to average Japanese? The third question was, with so much international pressure, why has Japan continued whaling for so long? And the fourth question was, is it possible for the Japanese government will be secretly breathing a sigh of relief? They've been offered a way out of the corner which they've painted themselves into, and can now end the damaging practice without having to take the blame. Parenthesis. Do the Abe administration's well-intentioned, well-established nationalist credentials now allow this in a way that a more liberal government could never get away with, a kind of a Nixon to China thing? And so 4 very interesting questions, and I gave my results. I'm going to read them to you. I'll put them up in a blog, but I'll read them to you because I thought it was pretty good. You know, I'm not really a modest guy, but so yes, I'll say it was good. It was good. I was informed. So on the first question, what will Japan do now? Will they obey the letter and the spirit of the ruling, or will they find a loophole? My response was this, and I'm reading myself, but what I said was, it depends on whether Japan decides to take the narrow or a narrow interpretation of the ruling, which appears to be that the scientific whaling in the Antarctic is permitted, provided that the current program is amended to address the concerns specifically raised in the court findings, or whether it recognizes that there is a broader spirit in the finding with a cultural dimension that recognizes that there is an emerging global cultural norm that whaling is not acceptable, and the scientific whaling exception to the IWC rules will only be allowed in very, very limited circumstances. I think it's clear that both sides here, while litigating on the technical aspects of scientific whaling, were seeking moral vindication of their positions, with Australia seeing Japanese whaling as a sham, and Japan seeing Australian and other objections to it as a type of cultural imperialism. Both sides promised to respect the outcome, and it was Australia that received the backing of the court, so Japan needs to now weigh up whether it can even fix the technical issues with its scientific whaling program. Sorry, so I'll reread that. So Japan now needs to weigh up that even if it can fix the technical problems with the scientific whaling program, this finding is going to give more moral authority to critics of the program if it resumes. And Japan will need to weigh up whether it is worth the increasing PR damage that this issue causes Japan for the principle of preserving an aspect of its culture, which the court failed to do for it. So at a time where Japan's trying to assert itself as an engaged international player, normalized from the stigma and restrictions imposed on it after World War II, it might be counterproductive to its broader strategic aims to continue having an antagonistic relationship over this issue with many of its most important allies. Second question, is whaling an important issue to the average Japanese? My response was this: I don't think whaling itself is. However, the tactics used by non-governmental groups to demonize Japan over this issue have galvanized a siege mentality that has transformed this from an issue about the right to hunt and eat whales into a more fundamental issue of fair treatment among countries with different cultural values and of defying cultural imperialism by people from Western nations like me who have seek to dominate and change the cultures of other nations. The illegal and confrontational tactics used by groups like Sea Shepherd in particular, and the apparent acquiescence of sympathetic governments has also reinforced a sense of unfairness and hypocrisy, which has undermined meaningful debate about the actual whaling issue itself in Japan. And this is it. When you talk about the whaling debate in Japan, nobody even actually talks about the whaling as the merits of it. Just it gets onto, well, it's those eco-terrorists and it's those hypocrites. And yeah, as I've said in my dolphin hunting thing as well, it would be good to get all that crap out of the debate and just focus on the points where you can still have a meaningful discussion. That was always my view. Third question, with so much international pressure, why has Japan continued whaling for so long? My response to this was, I believe that the pressure itself has served to some extent to reinforce defense of whaling, even where very few Japanese whale or consume whale meat. There are also other factors which include national pride, a sense of moral authority, based on Japan staying within the IWC and attempting to adhere to the IWC rules for its scientific whaling program, unlike Norway and Iceland, which just got out and do what they like. And there are aspects of the political system here also which disproportionately favor small rural areas that include whaling towns, giving them a disproportionate political voice in national politics in comparison to less empowered and less politically engaged urban voters. Fourth question. So is it possible that the Japanese government could secretly be breathing a sigh of relief? My response to that was, I don't know, but I said, I think that's very possible. However, there's no question this is very complicated. Whalers benefit a lot from government subsidies that flow into local constituencies that become a political lifeblood of the representatives that end up with a vested personal political interest in sustaining these towns that are attempting to survive still on whaling. So it's not just a matter of saving face. However, it would be very interesting to see how PM Abe reacts. On the one hand, he's a cultural nationalist and an advocate of Japanese national pride, and on the other hand, he has an established record now in his current tenure of being very proactive as an internationalist, seeking to cast off stigmas restraining Japan in the international community and moving forward as a normal nation in trade, diplomacy, and defense. So an internationalist, Abe would recognize the opportunity to close the book on this issue as a way to demonstrate his commitment to a more internationally engaged Japan. A cultural nationalist, Abe would see the ruling as technical and push ahead in the belief that he can still somehow convince the world of Japan's moral position, even though his government failed in this case. My conclusion here was, I think, based on Abe's track record and commitment to abide by the finding of the decision, his government will have to give serious consideration to substantially winding back its whaling program and looking to support whaling towns in other ways, but we shall see. And I'm going to put all that up as a blog post, but that was the full thing, and that was basically my encapsulated thoughts on the results of that. Of course, Rachel from Rachel and June, who featured on 2.5 Oyajis the other night, we had a kind of a fun drama show. She's done a video on the subject, and it was pretty good. Very thoughtful. She researched it, and I thought it came out quite well. I haven't been in to check if she got any hate on it, but she shouldn't have, because she was awesome. So because I've been reading my own thing, I haven't been reading the comments all this time, so I'm going to go now back to the comments. And the first thing I see is people seem to be bickering, which is fine. We're living in a society. We can all do this. Just checking in, by the way. How is my sound? How are my visuals? The visuals are going to improve, and the sound is going to improve. I'm getting all the bits and pieces together, but the man cave is still a little bit of a chaotic thing. So let me go through now to the comments and say hello to everyone. First of all, a big shout out and big congratulations to Charlotte, Japan, Canada, Gene 3, and most of all, of course, Hikosaemon, who they really stood up. I tell you, this YouTube Hanami this year, this was I think there's been a trend, and to tell the truth, I really needed a bit of a reinvigoration, and it's a huge credit to Tokyo Kuni that, in spite of not having made videos for a couple of years, or for a few years even, that the event was still pretty much sustained by people who were still fans of his for so long. And we always tried to promote it. I'd promote it myself, and there'd be a few people come along and so on. But it was always, he really carried the torch on that for a very, very long time, and that has always been the Central Japan YouTube community event. However, there was definitely a slow kind of a decline over the years, kind of lessening participation, and it's not just because of the organizers. I think it's also because of the changing nature of YouTube. YouTube itself really used to be a real social network, a real kind of a Facebook competitor, and Google took it over and kind of tried to desocialize it, and they tried to turn it into a Google Video, which failed in competition against YouTube. And then they tried to set up Google Plus and make it, and now they're back to making YouTube a bit more social. But yeah, I think partly because of what was going on at Google as well, and the more, focusing on making everybody more professional producers, and took the social element out. And I think that also had an impact in recent years. I think there's something, one, about the very good work that I think YouTube's been doing, kind of reviving the sociability of the place in the last few years, that we got such a great turnout and so many new really cool YouTubers that showed up. And the other thing is that the organizers, I think getting new organizers and guys like Sam in Canada, Gene 3, and Charlotte, Japan, really reinvigorated. It meant that we had more guests, we had more viewers. I mean, we got 250 RSVPs, and I think no doubt we got that or more on the day. It was actually, I was expecting like about 50% turnout from the RSVPs, and no, it was a full turnout. And you know what? I don't know if anyone saw the drama, and with the drama video that Victor had on his show after 2.5 Oyajis the other night, that he moved it off onto his channel. And I didn't really know what was going on. I was just pretty much hassling everybody. I don't know. I was probably giving Sam a bit of a hard time. I wasn't meaning to give him a hard time per se. I was kind of giving him a bit of the dad talk. By the dad talk, I mean that Sam was off on his one of his that guy. He was off on one of his kind of talking about other people and talking all sorts of shit. I don't care, man, and whatever, kind of doing this thing. I was kind of saying to him, well, look, dude, you're right, but at the same time, it's easy to rip on people who are consistent, but they don't say what they really think and all that sort of stuff, and you do that, but that we've always been waiting for a long time for you to, we know what your potential is. I know what his potential is. He's made some great videos, and he's really capable of being. He's been capable ever since he came onto YouTube. He's been capable of being one of the biggest people on YouTube in Japan, and he's never gotten there because he never, for all sorts of reasons. I think he's holding himself back. I think in a lot of ways, but yeah, and so it's one thing to be ripping on people who are kind of successful, and at the same time, well, you're saying that you're real and they're not, but they're doing it and you're not. And this is the thing, you can't just forever be this untapped potential. And that's that. I gotta admit, that's a harsh conversation to have with anybody. But this is the thing. I said it because I really genuinely believe that the guy's got a lot of talent within him. He's got a lot of energy, and I think he's actually got some sense in there somewhere. And I think he really could be the biggest video maker in Japan. And I gotta be honest. A bit like when I heard he was going to be one of the organizers for the party, I was worried. Just the same way. It's not that he can't do it. It's that I was worried whether he would do it or not, or whether he would, whether it could be a disaster of some sort. And just like, but you know what? He really stood up. He stood up amazingly. He was an awesome organizer. I think he was actually the best organizer. He outdid Kuni. He was the best organizer of any YouTube party I've ever seen. And he went way beyond what I would have ever done if I'd been put in charge of it. And I'm a pretty responsible person. I organize parties like this. But no, he went and got these huge tarps. He got there. The plane wants to get there at 7. He got there at 6 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold. He stood out there through the rain all day. He was the host. He looked after everybody. He told everybody, come here, stand, or whatever. He secured a huge area. Had to hold off the police because he got an area that was too big. He kept the whole mood for the party. He let other people. He had other people making the speeches and stuff like that. He was awesome. I mean, like, what the hell? And this is the thing. Just and this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is within him, and and it's the same with video making as well. He's a guy who's really, I think, really capable of really doing a lot more than he does. And as he said on that show, and I think I hit a nerve when I raised this with him, which is understandable. It's kind of a harsh thing to say. And when I raised it with him, he said, well, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and again, I could have just dismissed that, but it was you know what? I just realized I want to play with the fonts on this thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay focused on the conversation. But yeah, it's in him, and you know what? I continue to expect big things from him, but he really exceeded all of my expectations. I think Sam really carried the party both in the promotion and the execution, and he stood up, and that's what made it a success. And awesome, Sam. I mean, honestly, I found that I really have. I've always had respect for you, but I've always also had a little bit of a it's going to be okay with him. But I got a new level of respect from the way that he ran that party. So huge credit to Tikio Sam, and of course to Canada Jean and Charlotte, who did such a great job getting a big crowd in, and it was a really awesome party. I was there from about 2 to the end 6. Victor showed up at about 4. And yeah, we had a good time. Victor went around and said hello to everyone. It's funny, I always, because I'm so comfortable now on YouTube, obviously, I really do feel like I'm with him. Like I meet him every week. It's kind of weird. I only meet him once or twice a year, but it doesn't feel like I'm meeting him once or twice a year. It just feels like another day. And I frankly feel like when I see him at the Hanami party, I realize I should go up and give him a hug and do all these things. But honestly, it just feels like I saw you just the other day. You go and talk with them, I'll go and talk with these guys. And it is also remarkable the number of people who are walking around like, I'm waiting for Victor. When is Victor getting here? So yeah, he showed up. We got some great pics. Unfortunately, Victor was not quite. I suspect he was probably a bit exhausted from the trip up. That he didn't last that long. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it out to the after party, which was a shame. But yeah, we got him got him out to go and have a bit of a lie down. And yeah, I went and had a karaoke session with a few people I know, many people I don't know, many people I know who are in the comments right now who I just met for the first time. It was fun. I haven't actually had a karaoke blowout in a long time. My voice was pretty shot. There was definitely nothing to brag about in terms of singing, but it was good fun. It was Mifi was awesome, and yeah, I mean, again, if I start saying the names, I'll forget names or get people wrong. But there was Emily Louise Maitland, there was Dan Cowell, there was Josh Hill, and it was a really fun. It was a good thing. So I had a really awesome time. Is what it comes down to. So I'm gonna get to comments now. We finally got to comments. So we dealt with the whales. We saved the whales, and we got through the Hanami. And now I'm gonna start taking the comments in the comment thing. And by the way, just drop me a note. Am I syncing? Am I still in sync? I sang some in sync. Boy band type guy. White Magic 4, good to see you, and hello Razel Gul, let the games begin. Yes, Contensai, very good to see you yesterday, very cool hanging out with you. こんばんは、すみません、今日も早口で、今度なんか本当日本語の番組もやりたいけど、はい、二日酔いです。Oh dear, I'm sorry that you're hungover, but it was very fun hanging out with you. And what is that? You got that's cool. Anyway, very fun meeting you, Contensai. I'm well, Roscoe. Thank you for asking. Dengen's Konto. Yeah, I was a little bit late actually. Dengen's Konto, that's right. Always good to see you. Ryan Platts, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on where you are. It's a circular world. Were there any nasty fights at the Hanami? Robin Quincy. Well, this is the remarkable thing about about Hanami in Japan. We were in Yogi Park with probably somewhere in the range of 100,000 to 200,000 drunk people. Including probably 90% of the foreign population in Tokyo, and I didn't see a single disturbance. I'm sure there was something somewhere, but I didn't see anything. The only punching that actually took place was me hitting Victor, and there are photos of that on Facebook. So go and join my Facebook, facebook.com/Hikosaemon. Well, it's not really. Yeah, I got him in the face pretty good. It was pretty good. I landed a few good ones on him. Gaijin Shane. Oh, you're one of the guys from karaoke. Okay, and so I'm gonna go and add you and do all that good stuff. It was awesome karaokeing with you. That was a good karaoke session last night. It was good fun. Ecstatic Jack. No, Victor did not punch anyone because I'm too fast for him. I'm too fast. I float like a elephant seal. I don't really float. I'm old. I'm heavy. Putting on weight. Konbanwa, White Magic 4. The sound is perfect. Okay, this is all the sound check stuff. Thank you for the feedback. Panda Coda, always good to see you. Sorry about the crackles. I think I fixed them. 201 Marino. Yeah, it's perfect. The Taste 1962. Yes, thank you for that photo of me ruining the Hanami that you tweeted, which I retweeted. I guess I should put that on Facebook as well for the gang. But yes, I must admit, I see pictures like that and I think, oh, that is me. Did he Photoshop me? Oh, it's not me. I'm pretty easy. Yeah, I'm a fairly generic type, I guess. So yes, Dan Cowell, very good to see you. Very good to come in. Sound is lots better still. Okay, so actually, you know what? Michael Peckett is pointing out, good to see you, Michael Peckett, that there is still quite a sizable hiss. I don't know why that is. I'm checking my levels. I don't see a big hiss. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but consider this the first test. Renton, by the way, I skipped you, but howdy to you, sir. Canada Jane 3, got to give her a hug and tell her she was so awesome on our show, and I became an instant fan of her. And she was awesome, and she did a great job helping organize the Hanami, and yeah, Canada Jane 3, you're awesome. I'm like, everybody go and subscribe. If you, I'm sure you already are, but if you're not, go and subscribe to it, because after confessing live on the air that I originally didn't know what to make of her and found her a little bit annoying at times, she's making fantastic videos and she is awesome. Go and subscribe to her. Yeah, definitely come around on her. She's really cool. Alex Stratus, I saw you were just posting onto Facebook, and I'm gonna go and check those out. But thank you for those, and thank you for the YouTube screen cleaner stuff. This is cool. See, they wouldn't even give us t-shirts, but you know, Alex Stratus, he's the man. He got us stuff with YouTube on it. Which reminds me, I forgot the stickers. I forgot to take the stickers. The one thing I had to do, I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube, but give us some shirt. Give us some shirts. Everyone wants shirts. Everyone's so jealous of them. I wore my shirt because I knew everyone would be jealous of them, and everyone was. Oh no, Fernando Gross is saying that there's still a lot of crackle on my voice. I hope. Is he still crackle? Well, I don't know. I guess we'll survive. We'll survive. I'll hear the playback on this and I'll go back and pick this. Anyway. God Mode Chris. Kiwi. Oi, oi, oi. Good to see you, New Zealand. I'm guessing that's what you mean by New Zealand. There aren't many other ways to put it on. NZ, good to see you. And we say Z, we say it the correct way. It's not Z. Who says Z? Z is like Z. Z, right? Like Z. Well, no, I don't want to say Z's dead, baby. That would imply that it's incorrect when it is correct. But yes, good to see a God Mode Chris. Narcissus, good evening to you, sir. Yobi in Japan, howdy. I saw that you uploaded the video a wee while ago, so that was good to see. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw that you uploaded it. Canada Jean 3 offering her opinion on whaling. And also seeing some nasty comments back. 201 Marino comments like that. It's okay, but you know. So your opinion on whaling, by the way, let's have a look. There are hundreds of thousands of cows killed everywhere in the US, and you don't see India telling them it's inhuman and they should stop. What's next? They're going to take out Basashi. Well, I mean, but take another way. I mean, remember ahead of the Soccer World Cup, was it the Soccer World Cup, that there was a lot of pressure being brought by, you know, it was a publicity campaign against Korea to ban dog meat soup. And they did it, they banned it, which was actually kind of interesting. I mean, for a country as nationalist as Korea is, that they kind of caved in on that one. Although I'm told that you can still buy it pretty much anywhere you like. But dogs, well, they used to. I don't know, you know, but yeah, exactly. Why you should give in because it makes, you know, Whitey uncomfortable. Screw Whitey. That's what I say. Screw Whitey. Anyone who looks at me, just tell them screw you. I'm used to, I can deal with that. If they can't deal with it, that's their problem. Welcome to cultural imperialism. Indeed, Renton and Tua Marino. Well, you know, it's you speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. That's all you can speak for, and I'm sure that's what you're doing. And yes, trolling and win LOLs and troll win. That's what you're looking for. So that's all fine. And yeah, indeed, Michael Pickett agreeing. Narcissus has got 2 negative reactions, and hence I can see him doing this kind of a pose for having successfully trolled. Your work today is done, sir. And yes, so we have some controversy around the comments. There's a bit of static. Oh dear. So they're really static. Okay, I'll see what I can do about fixing that. Thank you for the feedback, though. I do want to know about the sound stuff and the feedback on this. I guess I'll see it at the end, but it is synced at least, and I've never been able to sync it for ODP before. In fact, I feel like I might do a couple of tests like after this, of just doing some random. If I can do 720p, I'd be like, yeah. So I might try 720p, although then that might be really pushing the limits on my webcam, and this is where I really want to do the converter. But anyway, Narcissus, indeed, preserve the wa at all costs. Save the wa if you save nothing else. Yes, Gaijin Chain, the YouTube Hanami was awesome, and we tried to do, well, yeah, there's always a temptation to like do something like that every month, and I think there's a place for that. I mean, the whole point of the Hanami is to get people hooking up into groups, but the main thing is don't hook up in real life and become like cliquey little groups. Hook up online, do collabs, shout each other out, make videos introducing each other, and that's what really makes it all work. That's the magic of the Hanami. And and you know, the other thing is that you could do another party 2 months later or whatever. But you know, you don't want to take away the momentum or the real focus around. I mean, it's always been the YouTube Hanami has always been an event that people have traveled overseas for. So that's like the big one. And I respectfully made a second event, the summer party, which is 6 months out. So it's in October that we do at the other end of the year, and that's always done at night in a club. And that's gone really, really well the last couple of years as well. And we could do more, but you know, I think the whole point is that, you know, it's nice having a real focal point for the year, the party of the year, and I think that's definitely what it was. Stubuya, sorry, so you were going to come, Stubuya, you were going to come to the Hanami, but you got hospitalized on Friday night. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay, man. What happened? Leave a comment or drop me a message or something. I hope you're okay. I didn't realize that you could come, but yeah, sorry to hear that you were hospitalized. That's not good at all. And actually now other people are asking as well, Canada Gene 3 needs to be a beach party, and actually there's a good case for that. I mean, I think someone should do like a July beach party. Do one down in Shonan. That's really easy to get to from Tokyo. I don't know if I could make that myself, but hey, honestly, now that you guys are organizing, I mean, this is the thing. It's up to for Canada Gene and for you know, Hikosaemon and all you guys. I mean, you guys, you've shown that you can set these parties up awesome. So you know, it's up to you. I always, my only suggestion is don't overdo it, because you'll burn it out. You want to make it sustainable, and you want to build it into an annual thing. So make sure you space it out properly and that you really plan it. But yeah, I reckon a beach party, a YouTube beach party, would be kind of awesome actually. And you know, if you do it down Shonan way, there's plenty of good places along that coast that have good access to restaurants and, you know, bars and stuff to go out to. You do it in Chiba, and you know, you have to get a car or something like that. It doesn't work, but it definitely works down there. So do that, Canada Gene 3. Joe Casey, while yes, it is nice this time of year, particularly today. The one thing is that you, on a good year, Hanami, the cherry blossoms stay out for like 2 to 3 weeks. If you manage to avoid any major storms or anything like that. But spring in Japan is really crap weather. It's full of like typhoon type winds and rain. And we've had all of that this week, which meant that really the only possible day to really do Hanami was yesterday. And today. It rained a little bit today, but today as well. But today it was like full on. I was going in a taxi somewhere in the rain, and there was like I thought it was snowing for a moment, and I realized that it really was like literally like a blizzard of these cherry blossom petals, which is awesome. But of course that means that it's finished the next day after that. It's awesome for one day. And so we scheduled that date. We picked that date of April 5th like months ago. And you know, the weather can change that right up until like a week or two before. It can totally change. And we were spot on, so I think we did really awesome with the date. That's also part of what made it a success, and it's awesome today. But yes, I'm sorry you Canadians are still in the snow. It's kind of awesome here. It's awesome having the cherry blossoms, no doubt, but the temperature is all over the place. It's rainy and windy. Spring is kind of crap in Japan, and it gets cut off halfway through by the rainy season. So yeah, you know, it's not all perfect, but it's definitely very nice during that 1 or 2 weeks that we have the cherry blossoms out. Subiya got an unknown virus and a 39.1 fever. Wow, my son had a 39 plus fever, but he's like 4, and 4-year-olds are kind of built for that stuff. I'm on my back on a 36.9 degree. That's pretty intense. Wow, and so you're in hospital. I guess they gave you lots of liquids. I hope you're feeling better now, man. I hope you're recovered. And if it's unknown, I guess they don't know. Maybe you just got to, well, yeah, I mean, again, I've become an expert in things that trigger fevers, having a son. But yeah, things that are hard to diagnose. There's adenovirus and ME, which my son had recently as well. And that was really hard to diagnose, but it causes, in the middle of the day, a really high, like 39, 40 degree fever. I know, maybe it was that. With adults, it's really hard to shake. So I definitely hope you get better soon. Yeah, so guys in Shane, there'll be more grey shirt guys oh yes, at the beach party. And then gross, imagine what he would do if so there was a weird grey shirt guy, I guess. You always get I know now, touching, yeah, well, there's always weirdos, and this is why I'm glad to be a bald dude, because I don't have to deal quite with weirdos the same way that young ladies have to deal with. So I'm sorry you had to put up with that Canada Gene 3, but you're a trooper and you handled it well from what I saw. And yes, definitely, you do not be careful about the beach party aspect with that. Alex Stratus, cows and whales are nothing alike. Cows are farmed, whales are just slaughtered. Well, cows are slaughtered too. It's different. Well, you know, I think some people do make the distinction, and it's a legitimate one to some point, that whales are, you know, wild animals. You know, when there's somehow there is a feeling, particularly in Western culture, that somehow farming legitimizes the slaughter and so on. Yeah, I got different thoughts on it. It doesn't really work out well in Japan, because, you know, that kind of animal-based agriculture is not really deeply embedded in Japanese culture. They've always been a fishing culture, and fish are very hard to farm. You know, they've always had mixed luck with farming animals in Japan. In fact, animals as food have always, for a long time, been illegal in Japan. So yeah, it kind of works out that somehow it seems kind of mean to, like, you know, eat a wild deer, but it's okay to eat a cow in Europe. But the kind of distinction that allows that kind of thinking doesn't really fly in Japan. But there's certainly there are similarities and there are distinctions. It's my diplomatic answer. I personally don't think there's that much of a difference. I mean, if you're looking at it on a spiritual level, and let's face it, people are looking at this on a spiritual level. They think that cows are like, that whales are like super intelligent. They're like us. If they're not as intelligent as humans, they're more intelligent than humans, and killing them is like killing a human. That's really what it comes down to for most people that I know. They rationalize it in different ways, but that's a really slippery slope once you start getting into things like self-awareness and spirituality and intelligence, because, you know, I mean, they've demonstrated that crows have intelligence, crazy intelligence like pigs, and pigs are smarter than dogs. You know, I mean, we get on great with dogs and they're smart because, you know, they've adapted to being great with humans, but that doesn't mean that there aren't smarter animals than dogs. So, you know, it's part of cultural domestication. You know, it comes down to culture ultimately. And, you know, in some cultures there is no difference, in some cultures there's plenty of difference. In some cultures, in India, they might say that, you know, sure, whales go to town, cows don't touch them, you know, I mean, but yeah, point is, Australia won, so there's probably going to be less whaling. And even in Japan, this is the thing, it's only a couple of towns that farm them, and really people don't eat it or go out of their way to eat it. It's not really that big a deal. It's just being kind of blown up. There's actually a really interesting news story 2 or 3 days ago, which I saw on Itai News on the Nichan aggregator, talking about how in Ibaraki they're promoting, there's apparently a culture in Ibaraki, like a historical tradition of eating crow. And there's some sort of big campaign going on to preserve their crow eating culture. And this really freaked out all the Nichan people who were commenting on that. Like, really? What, they eat that? Well, do they think about what the crows eat? Because, of course, the crows mostly eat garbage. And, you know, the blog kind of, or the news story introducing was talking about how the meat's apparently quite sweet and tender, especially when eaten as sashimi. And pretty much all of Nichan at the same time was going like, ooh. But somehow it's okay for crows, but it's like whales are like these sacred Japanese, you know, things. And it's just because it's the same thing. It's a very small local culture thing in Japan. And frankly, it's pretty much Sea Shepherd and friends who have actually who've galvanized this idea that it's, you know, that whale eating is an important Japanese culture to be preserved at all costs. Certainly, reading by the reactions, I don't think people think that crow eating and ibaraki is something that the whole country is going to stand up to defend. It's not as controversial, of course, so there's nothing to force that that perspective. So people look at it rationally and they think, yeah, it's good to keep your crows. We don't want your crows. And honestly, if they weren't endangered and people didn't think, you know, that they're, you know, like aliens that live on Earth and people hadn't watched too much Free Willy, honestly, it would be probably a similar thing with whales, but it's not. So what can you do, right? Stubuya, so it's good to hear that you're good now. Gone down to 38.7, which is that's still pretty high, dude. So yes, and you would have really probably suffered if you'd gone to the Hanami. So you did the right thing not going there, but a shame about that. God mode Chris, indeed looking forward to the Hanami vids as I am. That is how you get to know the community, and that is the best way. And everyone go out and look for. I'll try to tweet a few. Always awesome when someone does a little compilation or an introduction to a list of all the good Hanami introduction videos, because that's how you learn what the community is. Gaijin Shane, that's right, creepy people, and at the party, yes, Kanajin 3 talking about creepy people, and yes, they're creepy people. And indeed, as Michael Peckett saying, kind of what I was saying, you know, for some, murder is murder, for some it's just animals, some it's all murder, some it's like, well, this is smart murder bad, dumb murder good. I don't know. Honestly, I think that the only people really who are totally clear in this whole debate are the vegans. You know, I respect them because they've got the strongest debating position. You know. But yes, tasty fish are tasty. Indeed, Narcissus, that's right. Capricorni, what do I think about corrupt government? What Kana? So you're asking Canada regime, what do you think corrupt governments and corporations do? Well, you know, I mean, but again, it's not really corporate, actually. Japan's misunderstood like that way. Everyone has this idea from watching too many anime or manga or whatever that Japan is just like all of these large corporations. It's actually the troublemakers really are not the large corporations in Japan. I mean, well, them too. But these literally are. It's kind of harder to portray as evil, but they literally are like 85-year-old fishermen, literally just trying to hold on to their lives. As indeed, they went through the same struggle with this in the 80s in America and Australia, and they just kind of, well, in the end, it was pretty much like, you know, screw you guys. That's pretty much how it ended up. In Japan, they tried to look after them, which is kind of nice. Wow, there are 171 new comments. I've just got to this point. So whales are global commons. Yep. So let's just update automatically. Well, okay. So now the comments are going to be going crazy for a while, and they're out of sync. So I'm going to go back to the main part of the video. I'm totally lost at the moment. So display comments, please. Show me the comments. And now I'm trying to refresh the screen, and now the comments are not even. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Okay, so it's good that there are lots of comments. And you know what? I'm just skipping. Oh, no. So what do I do here? I'm trying to think. So we go to the endangered species. Oh man, there's all these new people. Wow, there are, okay, 180 comments is awesome, but I can't quite deal with that. So I'm just going to quickly skip over and say hello to the names I haven't said hello to yet, and try to get up to date. So there's Mondos, good to see you. What would Berry do? Question. We're all having the cultural debate. I think that's all good stuff. Stubuya, indeed, Vegemite doesn't discriminate. It's wonderful stuff. Dyslexic giraffe looked like a butterfly sting. Like when I pee, that's what I should have said. That's what I should have said. Thank you. See, you got all the lines. Capricorn just subbed this week, so I'm not aware of what you vlog about or your knowledge, but in your opinion, what advice would I have for gaijin animators? I would say go and check out Shot Anime, who is a gaijin animator. Makes videos, maybe not some for a while now, but she's made a few videos on the subject. She's female and a gaijin animator, which is kind of kind of a bunch of rare combinations there, and she's very cool. So go and check her out. 28. There's no crackle at 28. Okay, I'm at 46, so you're going to be screwed anyway. Indeed, I am Oyajis. No problem. Slight hiss, no static. What can you do? Might be my computer fan. I've got a little computer fan down there. I'll fix all this stuff. No taiko drums. You know what? You know, I think I don't. Do I have it? No, I don't, because that would have been it. I'm still transferring files. That is correct. Posey May, good to see you, and you were at the party. So I think. Did I meet you? This is another thing with this party. There's so many people. Ahmed Zombie, good to see you as always, sir. As well as Charlie Brown AU. Sub Tokyo, good to see you. Herp derp. And even the vegans don't have it right. Yes, they're still killing vegetables. That's an excellent point, Capricorni. This is true. So, boom. And okay, I think I'm pretty much caught up, so I'm going to go back to the live video page, and I'm going to go through a little bit more stuff and start going through. I'm not even signed in at the moment. I'm signed out. Oh, who knows? So we're talking about the murder thing, so on, exactly. Narcissist, time for a new topic. I agree, it's time for a new topic. I'm going to think of a new topic, which I'm going to find on my Facebook. Some people are asking for the Penis Festival, but I'm not going there. I've never been there, actually, although I think, you know, they're great. Very happy to have one. Don't know how else you really comment about that. My tweets. So let's check out my on Tokyo Tonight. So what do we got here? What have I been tweeting about? Yeah, the fellow who was given the death sentence and was let off. That's all kind of good. I'll put that there. Rakuten stopped selling whale, but we don't want to go back to that. Near death, I found that kind of interesting, how they've got new research that explains out-of-body experiences and how we have, that's one of the little things that happens when we get near death. There is a new Google Japanese input, which I want to go and check that out. That's why I tweeted that. And what else we got here? Running picture. Someone said that was me ruining the Hanami. Damn you, the Taste 1962. I thought it was me too. I was convinced. There we go, that's me and Peter Subarashi. We had a great time at the party, we did indeed. Me and Victor. That's a good photo. That's a very good photo taken by Dan Cal, thank you, sir. And there are more by Alex Stratus, I'm going to check out after this. But I don't, you know, we're talking about this, might be a. By the way, I'm totally violating your copyright right now, but please, can you just put in the comments that you like grant me a unlimited license to use it, because I'm going to totally keep using that, so thank you for that. By the way, a little artsy photo from the karaoke box that we were in. It was pretty awesome. Narcissist, you've always been, if I have a default quote and I don't know who to attribute it to, I attribute it to you, so yes. Narcissist. What else we got? We got Rush Hour, Tsunami, Guide to Visiting Japan. Really, in terms of the news, it was pretty much the whaling thing. There was apparently in Korea, they banned a Korean pop song because it had one Japanese word in the entire lyrics. And apparently, well, so not after the colonial period ended, all Japanese culture and media and everything was banned in Korea until like the 1990s. And now that, although they've lifted it, apparently this is on the KBS, the Korean equivalent of NHK. They still have a ban on using Japanese words like mixed in with Korean. And there's this one word like pika, which just means shiny, which they put in some girl song, and they refused to broadcast it because it was reminding them of the imperialism. Which, I mean, yes, they suffered terribly, and you know, but they can't. Please, they said pika. I mean, and NHK shows Korean dramas. I mean, like I said, I don't think these girls are promoting, collaboration with the enemy by saying one Japanese word. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes I feel like saying get over it and grow up, but I won't say that because that would be insensitive. I never say that. So I don't know, you got any questions for me? Got any topics? I'm gonna take on pretty much. I did say shot anime. It's all as one word. I'm sorry, Capricorni. I should have said that actually. Shot anime. In fact, I'll write her name right here so you can see it. Shot anime. But I mean, oh, in fact, that's slightly misspelled. Shoot, boom, boom. There we go. I think that's the name of her channel. And so, I don't know, that's pretty much it. I am actually, there we go, you got a non-exclusive, non-transferable license to reproduce the photo, say credit, yada 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 yada, don't be a douchebag. That last part actually makes it pretty tough. So does that mean I'm breaching copyright if I'm a douchebag ever? That's like, I don't want to have to pay a license. Well, we'll see. I'm sorry, I get technical about these things. Creative Commons, man, Creative Commons. That's Rachel with her video about whaling, which was awesome. Mine was kind of awesome too, and I will post what I said before as a blog at some point. But yes, everyone follow my Twitter. I mean, it's cool. I put lots of stuff about Japan. And my Flipboard, of course, is my curated. I choose stuff. It's less random. April Fools wasn't that eventful this year. I mean, I was busy with work, so maybe I missed most of it. But yeah. I guess time-wise, we're doing pretty well. I've got to tidy up and get ready for a long week. I will be actually Wednesday night. I might have work. I might not be able to do 2.5 Oyajis, or we'll see. I might have to do a bit later. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to Singapore on Saturday, which means there will be no Tokyo Tonight next Sunday. There will be the one after that, but I will be with my family. It'll actually be awesome. My dad lives in Singapore, my mum lives in Australia, but she'll come up, and my sister lives in UK, but she'll come over with her daughters. So it'll be like a huge family reunion in hot, sweaty 37-degree Singapore, and it'll be really cool. That's where I'll be next week. But yes, it's a busy week, but I'm good. It was an awesome Hanami, and everyone, Facebook and YouTube vids, just go and check out, discover all the new channels and the awesome people that are out there in the community now. The community is alive. Awesome work again. Big shout out to Hikosaemon and to Canada Gene 3 and Charlotte, Japan, because you did an awesome job with the organization of that party. That was the best YouTube Hanami party ever. It was just awesome. And that's about it. I got nothing else. I'm all out of stuff. The comments, as usual, are not updating very well. And now, as soon as I say that and I bang the table, boom, 30 comments come up. Hey, Comical Rainer, good to see you. Oh, I don't know, I've got to give you a date that we can do a show together. It'll be after we get back from Singapore, which will be in late April. But we should do a show together, yes. And I'll definitely be sharing pictures from Singapore, because Singapore is awesome. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and Narcissus has been congratulated for something. For fan subbing. Speaking of, I got accepted into the JET program. Awesome! You're coming to Japan on 2nd of August. Do you know where you're coming to? Which region are you assigned to, Narcissus? I kind of want to hear that, because that's important. But honestly, especially with JET, definitely good to get assigned to a country town, because you get to see more of the real Japan. Renton, you've been wondering, actually, don't I think Japanese tellies are doing too much Japan is great thingy? I mean, it's not saying great. Why praise yourself by yourself? Well, Australians do it, Americans do it, Canadians and New Zealanders don't really do it, but Japanese are very into themselves, and they're very introspective, and they're also in both ways. They're both like, we're awesome, or we are terrible. The communists and the socialists are all like, we're terrible and we hate ourselves, and they're very kind of Woody Allen. And you've got and then you've got like the Sarah Palin, the far right people. Japan is awesome, and I guess at the moment Japan is awesome. It's kind of winning the thing, which is like it is what it is. Why not? I mean, I think Japan's awesome. I guess that makes me a nationalist. According to the Japan Times, it does. But of course, that doesn't mean there's not lots of stuff, lots of crap. So you won't know so narcissists won't know the location until May. First choice was Hokkaido, second was Nagasaki. Those are interesting choices and good ones, I think. Actually, Kyushu is awesome, and actually Hokkaido is awesome as well. So awesome with that. And yes, I'll pick a date with Comical Reina to do another collab with her very soon. And Japanese are the French of Asia. That's an interesting. I always thought the Chinese were the French of Asia. In lots of ways, actually. I mean, one, France really sees themselves as being the center of the world, just like China are by their actual name. They have an overinflated sense of their own importance and power, and they have a belief in that they have a destined, just place in the center of the world, which isn't really correlated with reality at the moment. I think France and China share that. I don't know. I never really thought of Japan as being the France. I've thought Japan always correlates pretty well to the England of Asia, in terms of, just like England to Europe. They've never quite been comfortable calling themselves Europeans or participating in Europe or whatever. They've never quite been recognized or allowed in the club. And Japan's very much like that with Asia. Personally, that's the way I look at that, the Taste 1962. But there's all sorts of analogies I don't know, there's Cyprus and Crimea. Who knows? Japan is indeed awesome, Ahmed. It's not that it's perfect, and Algeria has its good points and its complicated points as well. But yes, so and yeah, I agree with the Taste 1962. I think that Nagasaki and Emily Louise Maitland, who I got to meet at karaoke last night, and to meet her lovely man. And she lives in Nagasaki apparently, and yes, that's a great place to live. But Hokkaido as well is actually really, really good. So I got nothing but praise for your choices. Yeah, I think that's good stuff. Renton asks, last question I'm going to take, but this is going to be the last question I'm going to wrap up. Is it's not even a question actually. It's you're most bothered by the fact that they gather foreigners to shout eulogy to Japan propaganda much. Actually, well, yes and no. Yes, they do that, but there used to be a lot of shows. There's a whole popular genre of kore ga henai yo nihonjin, of getting foreigners to just come and flamboyantly criticize Japan, which was actually a very high rating show. I got invited to come on that show actually, be one of the mob in the audience, and I said no, and everyone told me that was the right decision. But yes, yeah, Ken Dognick awesome. I mean, there's lots of parallels to be made, and certainly ketchup in Japan with German, and you approve of the statement. Well, I'm not getting mixed up in that stuff. That's right. And Brennan Gelpin, good to always see another Kiwi in Japan, because we're like white rhinos. We kind of spread out equidistant away from each other all through the country, and we hide and try to blend in and not be seen. So it's always pretty much a mistake when a Kiwi runs into another Kiwi, but when we do, it's pretty cool. So yes, that's right. So I'm good. I'm tired. This room is a mess. I'd like to show the beast, but I can't show you anything below the level that you're seeing right now because it is chaos, and I'm going to tidy up. I've got some work to do, and I'm going to see you guys later. I'm probably going to do something on Wednesday. I'll manage. We'll get Victor on, who I hope is now fully recovered from the Hanami, and I will see you guys then on 2.5 Oyajis on his channel this week. And I'll do something on my own channel. I'll probably post something from Singapore. I'll do something from Singapore, but probably live show will be in 2 weeks from now. There'll be a holiday next week because I'll be doing that. So I'll see you guys later, and very good talking to you as always. Peace. Boom. How do I stop this? Where's the handbrake? It signed me out. Oh, this is a problem. I have too many screens. The screen's awesome. Okay. The problem is it says stop screening, but I know that streaming, but I know that it logged me out. So I know if I click on this, it's just going to say I have to sign in again. But we'll see. That's right. Error occurred. Refresh. That's okay. This is like the Dr. Evil laugh scene where they just keep laughing for too long. Boom. Done.